Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us. We are on week 20, the instinctive response with the Auric program journey and instinct and instinctive responses. A lot of how we process the environment is through like our instinctual responses. Basically it's the idea of our body, our emotions, even behavior. We have these like automatic responses that happen that's not processed by the brain or by the emotions. A simple thing is like if somebody throws something at your head, you don't sit and go, "Oh, that's going to hurt if it hits me in the head." You just move your head and then you kind of process it after the fact. And a lot of our mental and emotional processes are still kind of influenced by this or based on this. We have a response to something or we have a reaction to something, and then later it's like, why did that make me upset? Why did that make me angry? Why was I afraid of this? Why did I behave that way? Why did I not say what I was trying to say? Why did you kind of go through this whole thing. And part of it is social interactions, it's behaviors, it's not just like survival, like that thing being thrown at your head, but it's all kinds of interactions. And some of these we're born with, some of it is tied to our genetics, or just simply the fact that we're in a body and the body is trying to thrive in the environment. And then some of it are based on um, conditioning. The simple one is, you know, until you touch a hot stove, you don't really think about it. But once you've touched the hot stove, you get around the stove, you're a little bit careful, right? And so you could even take this a little bit deeper. You could say in a way that it's not just about the immediate needs of don't touch that hot stove, move your head out of the way of that ball or social interactions, but there's also a component of this that is tied to a karmic issue. I've told that story before that it was from Annie Besant, back at the turn of the last century. And she was talking about karma and the idea of karma. And, she likened it to cutting vegetables in the kitchen. You're cutting vegetables and you're not really thinking about it. And you're like, chop, 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 chop. And you're doing your thing. And then one day you cut your finger. You cut your finger pretty bad. And, it's bleeding, it's a mess, it hurts, it kind of freaks you out a little bit. And so, you see the blood there, and then the next day it's not bleeding, but there's the wound, there's a big gaping wound. And then, a week or two goes by and the wound's closing up and it's scarring over and, all these things are happening. And, the pain might be down, but it still maybe hurts to move. When you look at it, you see it, you remember. Then a year goes by and, the pain is gone. It's not really on your mind, but every time you look at that scar, you think of like, oh God, that day in the kitchen, that was such a bad cut. 5 years goes by, 10 years goes by, you look down, you go, oh yeah, this one time I was in the kitchen, I was cutting vegetables and this little scar, it's from that cut. And then maybe another 5 or 10 years goes by. And you don't ever really think about that incident in the kitchen. Even when you look down at your hand and see it, you don't really go, oh, yeah, I remember the day. So that experience kind of passes, right? But every time in the kitchen, you're a little bit more careful. Even though you're not recalling that particular situation or that incident, you're a little bit more careful. And we all have areas in our life where, you know, we don't really think about it, but we're a little bit more careful because of very old experiences. We might not even be able to put words to it, but you know, it's there. And even in the depths of our inner self, we have instincts, instinctual responses, ways that we move towards something that might be good, or we move away from something that might be bad, or we move away from something that has caused us pain or trauma in the past. We might not even know what it is, but it's there. And so the more that we can regulate the response and not just have them be in an agitated state, the more that we can actually kind of process and make choices. If we're trying to break patterns in our life, then the more we can calm things down, the more we can make choices based on processing it out and having a reaction rather than, or excuse me, having a response rather than just a reaction. Right? So it could be with the mind, could be the emotions, could be just behaviors. And so this is an aspect of that. It's complicated, but it's not. It's simple, but it's also complicated. It's not just like, oh, calm that down and we're good. There's a lot of conditioning that goes into these responses, a lot of conditioning. Things that we don't even recognize or realize, but they're there. And so this can affect a lot of different conditions that I have listed here that are more physical and maybe just a little bit emotional, but eventually we'll be talking about things where it's a little bit more like spiritual or deeper levels of psychological healing, but at some point. So anyway, we're going to be working the blend. Is it instinct response or instinctive?
Instinct. No.
Instinct response. I think in the book it says instinctive.
Yeah.
Instinct support.
Yeah. So it's instinctive responses and instinct support.
Okay. Yeah. And so let us begin by inhaling with our awareness on the left side of the body, the whole left side. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then move your awareness to the front side of the body, your face and throat, your chest, the abdomen, all the way down to the tops of your feet. The whole front side from your face down to your feet. The whole front side of the body. The right side of your body. The right side of your body, right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder, all the way down to the right outer ankle, the whole right side. And then the back side of the body. No, would you give? I think it's okay. The whole back side of the body, back side of the head and neck, the whole back, the hips, down the backs of the legs. On the back side of the body, And then just be still. Just be still, be aware. You're just being still. Yeah. Let's do the advanced approach. That was the standard approach. So you could do that daily. You can integrate that into another protocol, or you could do Auric stack with several other Auric programming, blends. So again, you're beginning to inhale. Your awareness is on the left side of the body, from the side of the face all the way down to the outer ankle. Whole left side of the body. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And now the back side of the body, the whole back side. Back of the head and neck, the whole back. The back of the hips, down the backs of the legs to the heels. Whole back side. The right side of your body, the whole right side of your face and neck, right shoulder, right hip, the outer part of the leg, all the way down to the right outer ankle. And you're on the front side of the body, the whole front side, the face and throat, the chest, down the abdomen, the front of the pelvis, the fronts of the legs, all the way down to the tops of the feet. And then pause and be still. You're just being still. Begin inhaling with your awareness on the knees, either the whole knee or the back side of the knee. where it bends. Move your awareness to the ankles. Your awareness is on the ankle. Bring the soles of your feet. Your awareness is on the soles of your feet. Just pause and let go. Let's begin again. Left side of your body, from the left side of your face, left shoulder, left ribs, left hip, all the way down to the left outer ankle. The front side of the body, your face, throat, chest, abdomen, all the way down to the tops of your feet. The right side of your body. Your awareness is on the right side of your body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. The back side of your body. Your awareness is on the whole back side. Whole back side, back of the head to the heels. And then just pause and be still. Okay, you're just being still. How's this feeling? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the last little piece, your awareness is on the brain. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the spine. Your awareness is on your brain and spine both at the same time. The brain and soles of the feet, both at the same time. And as you inhale, move your awareness up above your ankles. As you exhale, down into the earth. Inhale up, exhale down into the earth. And then just pause and be still. Notice how you feel, your body, your emotions, Your thoughts? Any- Yeah. Samantha was saying big difference between the standard approach and the advanced approach. But, when you go back and you look at instincts, I mean, it plays a role into stress, it plays a role into our emotions and our responses and behaviors and social interactions and, getting triggered and, you name it. So let's go ahead and open it up into shares. You can unmute yourself or type in. We're going to do just the Auric programming for just a few minutes, and then after that, we'll do our normal Q&A. So,
I know, I don't think I've really ever really delved into this once, in particular, but I'm like, I want to.
right, it feels
Like,
nice, yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to add this to my stacks. Like, this was, yeah.
The thing, like if you ever want to do a little mashup, is remember the class, the Healing Spirit, or healing, is that what it was called? Healing
Yeah, healing
Spirit?
spirit.
Yeah, so it had the different spirits of the planets, like the healing spirit of the sun, of the moon. This would be awesome with that class. Like, if
Would you do it before or after?
you like, so if you were working, say, like the healing spirits of the moon, you would do it, you can do it before or after. Like they're going to do slightly different things, but I'd say at first probably do it before and then go right into the healing spirit of the moon. But
And even with the standard approach,
yeah,
that would
yeah,
be like,
sure.
okay.
Yeah. Would definitely enhance it. Yeah.
Someone shared starting to feel the programs going deeper into the body every week.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really amazing. I mean, to go through and do each one week by week by week, like just very methodically. I never in a million years thought we'd do something like that. Yeah, I was always just kind of doing it on myself, a bunch here, a bunch here. But the way we're going through and you guys are doing this, I mean, it will change your energy body, it will change your physiology, it will help you to become like a better version of yourself. Like better version is not necessarily the right thing to say, more aligned or more appropriate version of yourself. Life hasn't knocked you down quite as much once you kind of go through and do these. And you'll notice your intuition keeps getting stronger and stronger as the weeks go by. Yeah.
Well, and I personally kind of appreciated that this one didn't knock me out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like the advanced approach almost every single week. I'm
Right.
like, "Ugh."
Right.
I can do regular Q&A. Let me see. I mean, they're kind of quiet on the art program, but yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
I was going to chime in and say, well, this was a continuation of the weekend. There was yawning going with it. So
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
that's all I
How do
had
you
to
feel?
say. It felt good. I'm relaxed and just sort of like, I'll say in a daze.
Mm,
Uh, like, okay, I have to type something. Like, how do I raise
right.
my hand? I'm not sure, but I got there.
Yeah. And you know how, like, I mean, several weeks back we were talking about how, you know, going through and doing the processes, you're noticing that like how you're processing information in the environment and how is that going? I'm just curious.
Uh, I would say that every day's different. It's a new adventure every day. What I'm seeing and noticing, even things I recognize I'm not reacting to anymore, not to the
Hmm.
level I was. It's
Sure.
just like, oh, so there's that again. Okay, you know what? Next. Uh, I'm, things are going well. Let's just say it that way.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
thank you very much.
Yeah, good. I'm glad we're all participating with this.
Yes. The classes, the study groups,
Yeah,
everything in between, it's all bringing a big change in my life.
yeah, yeah.
And then we do have a share in chat as well, but if you guys want to start raising your hand as well for the regular Q&A at this point, you can go ahead and do that. Someone in the chat said, yes, my connection to my intuition is stronger and stronger every week. Thank you.
Good.
And I know I want to piggyback off what Robert was saying, just like as far as the reaction versus responding. Like, I just feel like that little distinction of like, I'm more responding and not reacting
Right.
as much.
Yeah.
Goes back to this instinctive one though. I'm like, I feel like that will
Mm.
keep nailing that in a little more. All right, well, someone said my chatterbox brain is gracefully quiet. Nice. And next week, guys, we are on week 21, which is going to be the skin. I think it's the augmentary, integumentary, that's
Integumentary.
the word. Yeah, integumentary system.
Yeah, it's a word little use.
And also skin support is going to be your oil. And so have those handy for next week. And glad you guys could join us. Now we'll start our regular Q&A and go ahead, Denise, start us out.
Hey,